Man, I believe Cam, man, because he dropped down 50 pounds.
Yo, what's good with the squad? What's good with y'all?
It was really more than
Can
that.
y'all hear?
That was before the debut.
I'm about to check the volume real quick. Let me check the volume for you. First, let me get connected.
Bluetooth connected.
Then we're going to check the volume real quick. Yo. Okay, we got the volume going. The mic is sounding extra crisp, A1 since day one. And we got who we got in here. We got DS was in the building early, said Hamza, what's good, blood? Then DS said absolutely disgusting behavior by the transformer dude who killed a woman. Like, did he kill a woman? Cuz killed somebody boxing as a fake woman? Like, if he did, that's crazy. That is not a thing. It's not a thing. It's disgusting work. It's disgusting work. Yeah, like it says, are you back? Can you see this? Cause these bars been a long time coming. Good day, brother. To start off. Most definitely. What you mean am I back? Nigga, I never left. What are you talking about? Where did I go? I never went nowhere. I'm confused on what you talking about. Where did I go, Quiz? Where am I at? Where did I go to? Like, this is about boxing, but it's also about like, see, this is the crazy part. If I'm honest, which I am, you can't stop a person or a actual physical man, woman, whatever. You can't stop them from trying to compete or whatever civilly because it's civil. The thing is, just because it's a civil law doesn't make it morally correct due to the law, and you have to follow other acumens of law to get to what you're supposed to be doing today. That's why they're in place. Like, and that's the problem. Yeah, like I heard CYP call you out to spar. Can you and would you spar him? Hey, listen, I'm not doing no more sparring. None of that shit. When I was out here boxing every day professionally, respectfully, cuz can shut up. Like, respectfully. When I was boxing every day, pressing a line professionally, I got millions of views on the internet. Now all of a sudden I'm retired from boxing and I'm blind. Now all of a sudden somebody want to get in there and box. My nigga, that is the most cap in the world. That is the literal definition of what cap is. Like, y'all tell me, was I not boxing every day? Was not me and my man Aaron boxing every day? Y'all seen us. Y'all seen us on multiple platforms. I got millions of views on the net. Millions. Like, what could you possibly be talking about at this point? With all the views that I got on the tube. It's like y'all seen me boxing every day. Y'all didn't see me boxing every day. Y'all didn't see me sparring Demetrius Andrade. Me and Aaron both sparred Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. Then I sparred Andre Berto, Amir Khan, in the midst of professionally fighting. So somebody asking me to get some sparring work now at this day is a fucking cap. That's cap. It's nothing you could say. It's cap. And that's the part where I have to get on here and tell you what cap truly is. Because when I was boxing every day, there's nowhere near you. No one ever called my name out. They weren't even looking for me. I was begging people to come to the town and get work. Nobody showed up. Man, that shit cap, man. Get up out of here. Get you some work in the Border Wars, which is an amateur tournament, and it's now a sanctioned amateur tournament. And now you can't get no work now. Man, I'm not trying to hear that shit no more. Yeah, niggas is flogging, or whatever the fuck. Nigga, and I don't even use that terminology. Negroes just lie. They just lying about anything, trying to get their name out there off a made man. That shit crazy, bro. When you know you never in your life wanted no work with nobody because you could have just boxed professionally yourself. And this is listen, this is the same underlining situation with the transgender thing. You could have boxed, you couldn't win with men, so you went with women. Like, that don't even make sense in no real world. How are they letting things like this even, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that be the problem. Like, I thought women had their own rights, their own everything. Now you see how they just take it. They just do what they want. They just do what they want. It's crazy. Because I thought they had their own rights. They can work their own. They got their own leagues. You tell me if I'm wrong. Am I wrong? They don't have their own leagues. Why would you put a woman in there with a man, a physically a stronger man, biochemically? The physical makeup of a man. I don't have breasts. The breasts are made of fat. I don't have a wider hip structure, so a baby can pass through the womb. This is why men can't have babies. Their hips won't pass a baby through the structure. The baby comes through the hip. When you try to fit that through, it doesn't go through the bone structure because you have a prostate, not a prostrate. Man, come on, bro. If I know this, then what's the problem? What are we doing? What are we doing? Because it's not like I don't know it. And I'm not going to act like I don't know it. You're not supposed to be in there. You know it. You know you're not supposed to be in there, dog. That's the crazy part. You know you're not supposed to be in there with them folks, but you in there anyway. Yeah, like, these niggas want to cut grass this morning and make mad noise, dog. Yeah, they gotta start warning niggas before they just come to the crib just doing work. Yeah, like yeah, and that's the real thing. That shit cap. That shit crazy. Yeah, it's like, and see, people don't understand. You pay for those type of decisions. You pay for them, dog. Like, it is clown business, DS, and that's the thing. The Olympic Committee, the Olympic Committee is their own corporation, and they do what they want. So it's like people keep saying, "Well, the United States." No, the Olympics is more of a United Nations thing. Not to get too technical, but the Olympics is really a part of the United Nations. You need to have a stronger committee in place of the Olympics that'll uphear the original Olympic rules. And I guess that's why they said they had that satanic, presentation or ritual before the Olympics, like reacting the Last Supper. Yeah, I'm literally telling one of my homegirls right now she not a man. She thinks she her son is not performing. Like, and she like, well, what do you expect, sweetie? You was in charge of that. It says in the hood, the black community, a lot of our women think they are the same creed as us black men, if not better, stronger, or smarter. Listen, the statistics prove that that's false. And then when you approach it to statistically, then you get people in their feelings. I really don't deal with emotions. I deal a lot in the numbers and statistics of things because it just abridges the argument off rip. Because I'm not gonna keep arguing with you over your emotions and opinions. I can't argue those things. On my channel, I only argue facts. And that's why I be telling y'all that I only argue the facts on my channel. I don't argue nothing else. Like people be trying to lie to me about the shit they be doing, and it's crazy. Because if your diet trash, you have done nothing to support yourself. Shit, I don't want to hear about it. Especially if you are African. If you are African and your diet trash, you've done nothing. You've done not one thing to support the God in you. I don't want to hear it. That's cap. It's a lie. Yeah, like the crazy part is you throw they need to make that after this that shit gonna be over with. Yeah, so it's like I'm not trying to hear that shit. Hit the like button, hit the cash app absolutely immediately. I don't want to hear any of these things because when we come down to just boxing, see, people think shit's sweet until you start getting punched in your mouth. When you start getting punched in that mouth, then that's when it's different.
Yummers.
That's when shit different. Now you mad. Like it ain't nothing you could say. Everybody thinks some shit sweet until that mouth get punched. No, that ain't it, Wayne. I'll tell you what it is, Wayne Casey, because I grew up when this era started. No, it's not a problem. If you run up, you get done up. That's it. This ain't no sport of boxing where like I'm choosing to fight a woman because I've transitioned. No. Mm-mm. When it's just regular life out here in the world, if you run up on me, I'm going to do you crazy. I don't care who you are because I've been threatened to the point where I don't want nobody coming at me aggressively because I'm not approaching them aggressively, especially physically as a professional of boxing. I'm not approaching you like that. So when you get to getting crazy with me, that's going to want to make me turn your lights off. And you know I'm a puncher. You will go to sleep with me. I don't want to deal with that. I don't care who you are. I'm not going to deal with it. All this has to this has to do with any one person, not man or woman, being able to completely troll their rights to do what they want, even if it's bound to hurt someone. And then that's when you're breaking common law. You can't hurt yourself. You can't hurt others. You can't defraud somebody of property, or you can't damage something that doesn't belong to you. Those are the common laws and the reason why the police or any state or federal agency shows up on behalf of another party, whether it be a corporation or a sentient being, to fiduciate the problem, whether somebody's been hurt, they hurt themselves, damaged, or defrauded property. Now, when you get into the Olympics, that's when they get into legislation and legal standards of colors of law. And then that's when you have to know how to approach the situation from your home state, country, because they're synonymous terms, state and country. You have to approach it with your nation. So if you're from depending on where the woman was from, she'll have to approach it with her nation, not her state. And then from there, she has to attack the situation through a national court or a Supreme Court. Even with United States court, it could be done because the United States, by law, not what I'm saying, this is actual facts, they have franchised every state upon with the Vatican. They have franchised every country, state in the world. That's why when you look at the countries and states, they have all capital letters when you look on the map, because that's the corporate entity running the state for the people. Whether it's a country, Mexico, Venezuela, Colombia, those are all states. They might call them countries. Some people call them territories. They're all synonymous terms. So that's just, it's not my law. It's not what I'm saying. It's the laws that have been written down when you understand how legislation, constitutions, how unions work. It's a union. There are several unions in place. A union is when several corporations get together, like Navy Federal, Patelco, different credit unions, Golden One Credit Union. They're a credit union. They're banding together to help you receive more credit. They're not a bank with a corporate entity and then has started a franchise. This is why when any one person is filing a suit, they're saying, I've been disenfranchised. You know, like in the civil rights, I've been disenfranchised. If you don't know what that means, then you're playing in a game that you're going to be a victim. And they're not even going to treat you. They're going to treat you like you know what you're doing because you're always answering for your name. You're not supposed to do that. So, like, just to get technical with how it would be handled in the court for her actually having to compete against a man, which is breaking, that's using a color of law. And that's literally against 18 U.S. Code 242 and 241. Deprivation of rights due to color of law. She was deprived of her right to compete in the Olympics. What's the word I want to use? She was deprived of her right to win a medal due to color of law. She was deprived of her right because she had to compete against a born man. That's crazy. That's crazy, dog. That's crazy. Because I used to train a heavyset woman in the amateurs. White lady named Sarah. Her husband was Japanese. His name was Nori, which means dual light in African language. I was training her, and even when I used to spar to help her, it don't matter how hard she was punching. She literally weighed 300. It didn't matter. I was gonna continue. Like, it was one point where she could not even do shit with me in the ring, and it had all to do with my strength, my speed, my athleticism, my agility, my 10 pillars of fitness, on top of me just being a male species of the human race. It had nothing to do with her. My body is made different. She's not physically as strong as me, and I would have just smoked her in a sparring session. I couldn't even hit her as hard as I wanted to. So, like, I know that because I didn't have multiple women as clients. I've had heavyset women. I've had I trained this one chick named Mackenzie. She was a tall white girl in the city. She was Mackenzie had to be like 5'10", 5'11", like one of them Barbie white girls. Like, she was actually educated too. She had academia. She was an engineer for Costco or something like that. You know what I mean? She was a real nerd out here. We used to kick it all the time. She actually was bad. Mackenzie was bad for real. But she used to be mad because she couldn't fuck with me in sparring. It's just like, Mackenzie, like, it don't matter if you was Clarissa Shields, my nigga. You get in there, I'm gonna smoke your ass. Raquel Miller, same thing. I remember Raquel's sister was feeling me, right? So then I tried to pop fly with her and get some love, and she was like, "Well, no, I got a fiance. I'm like, Raquel, why would you even send me that way when you know she got somebody?" Man, me and Raquel sparred that day. I bloodied her nose up instantly. Bang, bang. Hey, don't ever play me like that. Nigga, sex play me, thinking I'm getting some love from a dark skin. And Raquel's sister was stupid fine. TT. Like, Raquel looked good. That's my sis. But at the same time, her sister was feeling me. So I'm like, hey, bud, why are you trying to send me your sister's way? And she already got somebody. Why you sex playing with me? And then after that, she was like, well, no, I ain't no, nigga, you knew. You got me out here looking stupid. We getting some work. I'm getting some work with you. We got some work. Her nose was bloody. And I had on 26-ounce gloves. So that's what I'm saying. It's just not a thing. It's not fair. It's not a legitimate thing when you really break down even the colors of law they're trying to use. And listen, the Olympics is gonna be fine for that. They're gonna be fine for that. Everybody is getting exposed through their behaviors. This is the age of Aquarius. We're into the knowledge of knowing. And then it's another step of knowledge, which is called wisdom, omniscience. That is of God. This is God's knowledge. So like when you acting out like that in the public and it plays out in the public, oh no, you're gonna pay, because you know that you're acting under a color of law that doesn't exist and you're violating people's civil rights. Even in competition. Even in amateur competition with the Olympics. Because people get paid for being Olympians when in a country. They actually get a stipend. Even the United States boxers, some of my homies that was on the either on the Olympics or dealing with the Olympic Committee of the USA Boxing Association. And USA Boxing, they get paid like, oh no, if you're gonna deal with us, we'll pay you. We'll pay you to train at the Olympic facility. We'll pay you to do this. They want to be able to use your credits. Not your credits, I'm sorry. They want to be able to use your securities to create revenue with the Olympics, because your name, the country, the state you fighting under, the United States, because you're not fighting for Ohio. You're fighting for the United States. You're not fighting for California. That's why Berto went to Haiti and got some work, because he was Haitian and he was trying to get on the Olympic team. But since he's an American, he could choose to fight for his original country state, which is Haiti. But when Raquel tried to do that, because she was an alternate on the Olympic team with Clarissa, the United States said, no, you can't fight for Ghana. You was with us. You a crew man of us. You can't do shit. It's actually 42 U.S. Code 423. You a crewman of the United States. That's what I'm saying. So what can you do? No, it's not, Quiz. You using terms that you don't know the actual meaning of, and that's what I'll be saying. I was stating it earlier on my gram. You said feminism is the devil's way of confusing order and law of our beings, switching gender roles and running family structure. No, sir. Feminism has nothing to do with the physical role. That's where people keep making a mistake. Feminine is not the same thing as a female. That if they were, they would be the same word. That's why you have feminine, feline, female. The FE denotes magnetism. That's just what it is. The bilateral root of the word feminine, female, feline, FE denotes magnetism, because feminine energy is magnetism. That's it. It has nothing to do with nothing else. Feminine energy is magnetism. That's it. It's the right hemisphere of your brain due to African spirituality. It don't matter what you say, because they all been talking about it for years, for ages, for a lifetime. Feminine energy is the right hemisphere of your brain, and it's the integral part of your brain that sees the picture as a whole. I'll give you an example. Michael Jordan can play basketball. He was the GOAT, but why can't he teach it? He can't teach it because he was playing basketball off the right hemisphere of his brain. The things he could do, he could just put it together. It's a part of what Black people can do as a race of people. They are the only people, due to the biochemical makeup of their bodies, that have the ability to use both hemispheres of the brain naturally. That means you can discuss how it's done and you can show how it's done. See, these are the things that you have to understand when you're using these terms in the public, because feminine is not the same as a female, and neither is masculine. You're talking about yin and yang, and that's electromagnetism. Those are energies that are part of your brain. The masculine energy is electricity, that's output. Feminine is magnetism, which is you're not outputting anything. You attract things. That's why they say women have an attraction. Females, they attract a man. They don't be out here working for no man. That's not how females are even supposed to do. They're supposed to sit there, and then if they have the magnetism, feminine, fit, friendly, submissive, a man is gonna pick them. They're always gonna have a man, and a man is always gonna be around them. You don't have to try to find a wife or nothing like that. They are chosen off rip. A man by nature has to work. If you don't understand African culture, your ass got to show up with some gifts if you want this man's daughter. Y'all haven't studied African culture. It don't matter when you show up to that family, your ass better have put in some work as a man. You better have goats. You better have something, my G. Because if you don't have it, you're not getting the daughter. That man is not giving you his daughter. You don't have a house. You don't have shit. Excuse the language, but you don't have anything. So that's what they're stating right there. The work has to be shown in the flesh from the masculine. It has to play out. You have to have some type of knowledge. You have to have something. Then the woman is yours, and she needs to be taken care of. That's a fact. It's African culture. From the golden age of civilization, not just any civilization. Africa had two golden ages, the 4th dynasty and the 12th, when Ham, first son of Noah, king of Egypt, black, Hamites, Kemites. I'm sorry, blood. That's all I got. They be taking all my bread illegally through colors of law. And when you find out they're not even abiding by the same colors of law that they enforcing, that's when it get weird. So that's what I'm saying. There is no way a man should have been in the ring, whether he was a transgender or not. But that's the thing. When you're dealing with other corporate entities and colors of law, they let these things fly. I would have been like, nope, I'm not competing. I'm good. Listen, I'm going to tell you, they did this to my grandmother, my G. See, this is the thing that I never told y'all this. My grandmother was a professional bowler. She's in the Tri-County Hall of Fame for bowling. She's 82. She was whooping every woman in Ohio and across the nation so bad, white, black, whoever. If you was getting in there with Edith Mobley, you was getting your ass smoked on the alley, on the bowling alley. She has it down to a science. She understands pin placements and balls, oiling lanes. She talk about it all the time. Don't make me call her and get her on this phone. My grandma one day showed up for a tournament and they made her compete against men. She walked straight out. She was like, y'all ain't doing this. I know what y'all doing. Y'all mad because I'm spanking everybody. I'm not doing it. She boycotted it in her own right. And they had her in the Cleveland paper and the Akron Beacon Journal. And she was on people's back by like, hey, listen, I never said I was a boycotting or doing nothing, but my grandma at that time, she doesn't understand, like, refusing to perform is a form of boycotting. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not competing against no man. And my grandma used to know the men cheat. That's when she used to be like, the men be cheating. They put the pins in their bowling balls a certain way. So even this situation is not new because my grandmother 82. My grandmother's 82. And she was born, if I'm not mistaken, in 30. Well, let me see, 82. Let me do the math. I just want to make sure her birth is right. Because if I'm not mistaken, my grandma was born in 49 or 39. One of the two. Hold on. Yeah, I think my grandma was born either in 39. Yeah, she was born in 39. My grandma was born in 39 because the Social Security Administration started in June, I want to say June 5th, 1933. I know those are bars. You know what I'm saying? That's hit my cash app. But my grandmother was born in 39 and Social Security started in 33. And then when I was doing my trust information, I'm like, how is my grandmother receiving so much money all this time for Social Security when Social Security started in 1933 and she was born in 39? So she hasn't been with the Social Security Administration for that long. Nobody has, because it started in 33. Quiz said the chat's up there bars too. He said Wayne Casey said, I'm glad to see you younger brothers understanding feminism. Hey, my nigga, who on here is a young bro? Wayne? Wayne, how old is you, bro? Wayne, how old are you, bro? Mr. Casey, how old are you? Because I'm not that young, bro. Wayne, you 56 out here? You really in your 40s though, because on the African calendar, we only in 2016. It's a fact. Ethiopia and the Aztecs had a different calendar. We're on the Gregorian calendar. So this calendar is 7 years in the future. That's a fact. You could just look it up. Don't take my words. Don't take the words from my perspective of the supreme being. Take them take them with a grain of salt on your food for thought. Take them on your grain of salt. Take them with a grain of salt for your food for thought. Those are bars. And look it up yourself. I advise anybody to research what I'm saying and do a comparative study so you can do your own academia and quit letting everybody tell you something that's hearsay and it's up for deception in the court of law. That's the real reason you're not supposed to have a lawyer. Wayne, I didn't know you was an older gentleman. My mistake. But I just turned on this calendar. I just turned 44, bro. I just turned 44 on a Gregorian calendar. I know I don't look it. Vegan shit, boy. When you read them Sebi books, which means dual earth, Sebi, the earth, will tell you. It's in the Egyptian and Kemetic books. Seb means earth. It's Geb. It's in the Bible, that's Jabril. Gabriel. It's the entity of the earth. The earth is a real entity, bro. It has a heartbeat. It's called Schumann's resonance. Yeah, it's a fact. It's called Schumann's resonance. It has a frequency, a heartbeat. And in this era, that's why we're in the age of Aquarius. The heartbeat is raised, and it was making people sick because if you're not vibrating on the same frequency that the earth is, due to Schumann's resonance that he found. Schumann was a man who found that the earth had a frequency and a heartbeat. It has a torus field, which is a feminine and a masculine energy. That's a fact. Everything does. Hey, blood, what is you licking over there? Making all this noise. Would you need some water? Let me get you some water, blood. I'm tired of hearing you lick. Back up, cuz. Yeah, like, that's when you have to understand that. Like, so when we talking about, and this conversation just ain't about a transgender, it's about the understanding of gender as a whole. Because everybody think they be knowing the shit, but they don't. Like, they don't. And then the moment you start saying, no, that's not correct, according to the manual. So, I mean, you can go in the Tao Te Ching, the I Tao Ching. You can go to the Oya, which is the Nigers, the Yoruba, as they call them. The Igbo, Hausa is the original tribe of the people of that area. You can go to any one of them people. They have the same oracles of knowledge. Whether, like I said, and you can go to the Quran. The Quran is a book of Tehuti. So it don't, none of the, they all state the same things. You can even go to the right here in the Emerald Tablets, the book of Tehuti, his own book. It states that everything is gender. Everything is. It states it. Hold on, let me go on my phone real quick. Because I got the Emerald Tablets everywhere. I keep them. And they emerald because green is the color of the prophet of Osir or Osiris, or whoever name you want to call him. The open eye. The color of the open eye is green. Why? Because if you go to the Emerald Tablets, the way your body's set up, your soul is enlaced in your heart. That's why in the Bible it say if something's on your heart, that means it's stuck. Your soul is projecting a certain thing for you to pass the test of, so you can graduate and reckon yourself up in knowledge. Listen, I'm sorry, did I even know that? But I'm not. I'm not. Because it was Nekuses out here trying to use my spirit, and I got tired of it. I could feel it. I'm sick of it. Hold on, let me go to the tablets in the library on my phone. I got two different tablets in here. Hold on 1 second. They done changed this up. No, I can't. When they be doing, oh, here it is. These is one of the like hermetic, what do they call them, which is Tahuti. One of the principles of omniscience. And it's in the chapter known as these two chapters, the key to above and below, and the law of cause and effect. Those have to do with gender. Period. Those have to do with gender. And when you read them, it'll tell you that. Of course, you have to break it down and understand it for self, but it still tells you, what? You know, you trying to do something. Oh, I can't stand when they be changing up shit. Like, what is this, man? Yeah, like what are you doing? Hey, when this shit is so weak. Why can I get to the table of contents to the book? Well, regardless, I have the physical copy here. Why is it doing that? Like when I'm trying to get to the actual table of contents, it will not let me get to it. Here it is. Damn, like the fuck? Yeah, in this one they have Halls of Amity, a key to wisdom, Spaceborn, the dweller in Unal, the key of magic, the seven lords. The seven lords are the seven divisions of the spirit. It's seven divisions of your spirit and the seven chakras. Um, the key to mysteries, the key to freedom of space, the key to time, a key to above and below, the law of cause and effect, the key of prophecy. Those definitely talk about gender and how you use your masculine and feminine energy to put out things and to attract things. That's literally what they talk about in those books. In a science way, it's just the words that they use. You don't understand that they're talking about atoms and essence in science because they had their own language. You think it's mythology, and that's what they've done. They've turned science of gender into a mythology, and you don't think it. You think it's myths, meaning like it's fake. It's just a story. No, there's a science. Mythology is actually a science of describing something true in a story. It's a science. It's a parable. It's a parable, basically like a parable, a story told by an animal or using animals to tell a story. There's two other terms that they use for like parables and different stories that are told. They'll come to me. But I know a parable is a certain type of story. And that's how it's a certain mythological story. You see what I'm saying? If you don't understand how to break those things down, then it's going to be hard for you to understand the science of the things. That's just a fact. That's why the books that you read are and that are deemed to be religious, they're written that way because the knowledge ain't for everybody. Everybody can't. You have to study to show thyself approved. That's it. When you know that, if you don't know what the self is, you're making a mistake because a lot of people equate the self with their physical body, and it's not. From the chart, that's what we teach from the Kabbalah. The self is the interdwelling intelligence that runs the functions of your being. That's the self. You don't run the functions of your being. You could tear that shit down, but you don't run it though. You don't tell your heart to go every day. You're not telling your digestive system how to get the shit out your body. It moves autonomously like a Tesla on auto drive. And when it stops working, is because you have seized it. That's the only thing you could do is seize it. It's already working naturally from the time you get here. And that's what gender is about. That's the feminine energy running your body as a whole. When you start messing your own body up, not understanding things from a diet perspective due to the color of your skin or your gender, you're ruining it. You're ruining it because you have the God complex in you. There ain't no God outside of you. It's in you. It's like when you take a cup of water and dip it into the ocean. The same properties in a cup of water are in the ocean. It's just not of the magnitude. See, that's what people don't understand about the being of supremeness. You have the powers, but not the magnitude of power. And they explain that in African culture. And that's why people be making those mistakes, whether it be gender in competition, gender civilly, gender in anything, in relationship. In relationship. Because it's all about the reciprocal relationship to things and the whole as fixed by netter or nature or natura, as they say, the Latin root word for nature, which comes from the word netter, which is a Hamitic or Kemetic word. Because Hebrew wasn't the first language, and the Hebrews come from Mesopotamia, which is Iraq and Iran. And you got to know that because it's black people. Yes, they were black at a time, but you still not from them people. Those are Semitic people. Those are not Kemetic people. And that's just where I'm at with it. So it was an Algerian, which is basically a white African, because a lot of the Algerians used to be a different color. And some of them are the Berbers. They used to be Libyans, and they migrated to there. That wasn't the original name of the land over there of Morocco and Algeria. They had different names because Morocco was Wakandu. No, that wasn't the Wakandu Manji. The Wakandu Manji. That wasn't those people. The Wakandu Manji people were what is known as that big country on the side of West Africa, on the far west coast, that huge country. Let me go to the map real quick. So dude who performed that act as a transgender was Algerian. Got Africa looking crazy. Yeah, the Wakandu Manji. That's the largest, one of the largest country states on the side of West Africa, and this was the name of it. This is right here where the dude was from. But Algeria is higher up. So let me go to the original map so I can see what they yapping about. That country, that big Algeria is the country east of Morocco. It's also a large territory. Actually, that country didn't even have a name between 2000 BCE and 350 BCE. That country is blank on this chart, Algeria. It wasn't even in position as a country, a state, civilly, or people even migrating to live there until after 350 BCE. That is a fact. These are the two maps right here. That country it was Morocco, Western Sahara now, Mauritania, Guinea or Guinea, as they pronounce it, Algeria, Mali. Those are all West African countries on the far west, and Algeria wasn't even a country state until 350 BC. Who knows when Algeria became an actual state? We might need to look that up. Hey Siri, when did Algeria become a state or country?
Algeria was founded in 202 BC.
Exactly. So I was correct. I'm not lying. Because 202 BCE is after 350 BCE. Because the numbers are going down to zero. You went down to zero, and then they started back again when they started to create a new calendar from 2,000 years ago, 200,000 BCE to 350 BCE. So Algeria just became a country state in 202 BC. So this map is absolutely correct. Right there, there you go. They in violation of RIP. It's just like California becoming a republic in 1849. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, bro. Hit my cash app. Y'all be asking for this work. We ain't here to talk about all work. Boxing. So the Olympics is weak for that. The Olympics is trash for that act. That was a trash corporate thing. It was trash. But at the same time, that's what they asked for. But this is the thing. It was a small minority group that were asking for it. So now they're trying to fix and change things in a worldwide scheme. Everybody is not adhering to that. We automatically know off rip Africa is not adhering. Certain countries state, and see, this is why the colonization of Africa was so important, because you segregated all the states like the United States and made 54 sovereign states when Africa never wanted to do that. They wanted to be one entity, as they were back in the day when they were the golden age of civilization, the 4th dynasty and the 12th. When Kush and Kemet and Punt and the Magi, Somali people, notice how they get all of what blacks were supposed to get, but they get all the support and backing while we get replaced by immigrants. Listen, bro, when you say that, that is a part of what I am in court for to this day. What that nigga Deontay Waters say? To this day. No, to this day. We've been in. No, you have black people don't fucking read, bro. I'm sorry. I could talk about my own people. By this statement that you make, like Malcolm X said, when one black man wake up, he'll be representing all black men in its entirety, because that is a feminine energy. That's the right hemisphere of the brain. It's not multiple black men. There's one black men and black women. They belong to the African race of people. When you segregate things down from humans to races over time, how people migrated, at the end of the day, when you read the book, When the Whole World Was Black, there are only two races of people, which are black and white. There are people with carbon and people who have less carbon. And Dr. Sebi proved it with, hold on, where that book at? See, this is why I got books to prove this. So niggas can stop trying to run your mouth to me about what you don't know. You got to get in a book. The Alkaline Herbal Medicine, Reverse Disease and Heal the Electric Body. The African Biomineral Balance supports the healthy expression of the African genome in all people. One of my clients used to be a professor for Stanford, and she was saying the same things. The Ankh is in all of us, meaning the life or the word of power of the Ankh, which is really pronounced An, is in all of us. And that's why they took the KH off of it, because it was Satan. You see what I'm saying? Or Sebek Ra, or Setra, or Sutra. And people don't know those things because they haven't did comparative studies due to science. And in Africa, you can't have God without science. It's not even a thing. It's not even a question. There is no understanding God without science in Africa. It's period, point blank. They go hand in hand, because to be a prophet, you had to prove God exists through science and through your craft. That's what you had to do. You had to show omniscience. That's why I had a pyramid class. Pharaohs and kings were at the top because they had it was a royal family and they passed down knowledge. It wasn't for everybody. Then you had priests, lawyers, judges, and all those are called nobles. So that's when you have the noble Drew Ali. Then you had, if I'm not mistaken, the next people on the list were, if not lawyers, and were scribes. And then the next were craftsmen, and then farmers and slaves. And slaves were people who couldn't say no to worldly things. They were meat eaters. They weren't vegan. They were having sex. They were doing homosexual acts. That's how, see, when they say Kemet and Egypt enslaved people, they were not lying I read these books. They enslaved people with laws of God. I read all the laws that they got from the hieroglyphs. They laws were based on how to treat people through your behaviors because you were a vessel of God. And when you did something wrong, whether it be civilly, defrauding money, you had to repent in the paper and put it, because it wasn't about you. It had nothing to do with embarrassment or none of that corny shit. No, you violated somebody. You have to put that in the paper and show how you fixed it. Or you don't get to own your property. You don't get to do nothing. You don't get to have anything. Why? Because you're not going to abide by the laws to keep your things safe and other people's things safe. That's how Africa was holding it. And I've read the books. There's nothing you could say. If you was sleeping with men and you was a man, hey, blood, you was a slave. You wasn't following God's law. If you was stealing people's property, if you was by the time Romans understood the law when the New Testament, they start seizing all property because they understood it had to be trust fund. You had to be a Freemason. Once the Romans understood after colonizing the Greeks who actually came into the 31st dynasty of the Ptolemaic era, which was the commander of Alexander the Great. Those are facts, all facts, no paper and pencil. Then that's when it was the Ptolemaic era of Egypt, and they retarded it. They retarded. Basically, anytime a certain group of people get into the science of blacks, they retard the science, because instead of just learning it and then creating your own and going back to your people and freezing your people, you come and trying to take our shit. And that's not how these things work. That's why in Deuteronomy 28:27, it says the Lord will smite thee with a botch of Egypt. And that means if you come into this land and these people already discovered the things of mathematics, cubits, squaring a circle and a triangle, or circling a square and a triangle. Yeah, egalitarian 207. You're saying what? Like, I haven't been talking about this shit for ages on ages. There's nothing new under the sun. Every time I come here and talk about anything, I'm talking about what's been going on with blacks and how these things keep getting overran because people don't understand gender, above and below, cause and effect. They don't understand none of these things. They don't understand the secrets of secrets. They don't understand thrice times great. They haven't read the laws of Africans put here from God, put here by Africans for anybody to study and learn from without prejudice. You're not supposed to be prejudiced about it. You're supposed to say, damn, I ain't no niggas, which is the term that niggas use for niggas. It's an Ethiopian sovereign title. It's actually Negus. That's why I got it on my gram. And through trilateral root, or no, actually it's the bilateral root, because the same bilateral root of the word nigga makes the word sound like it sounds, which is an N and a G, or in the word negus, and also in the word of power from God, which is aung, which is what the word ankh comes from, because a K and a G is switched interchangeably through etymology of language. And those are facts. Those are actual factual God level bars. It's not what I'm saying. It's what I've learned by studying the secret science. See, when you study Eastern, this is the thing. When you go to school for academia, they give you a book. The book is what the course is on. You're doing intercourse. It's no outer courses. Intercourse has nothing to do with sexual activity. That's a word that they use for that. Conceive means to think. An intercourse means you create a path from within to get you to a certain place. That's just a fact. And sometimes that brings a baby or a child about because you're thinking sexually. So I'm going to go back again. When blacks touched down, when God created everything, because blacks have something in them outside the known universe and inside the known universe. It's in their books. It's in the book of the gates, translated from the hieroglyphs. it said that remember, we talked about this. The original term for blacks is the Nehesu. And it's really not Nehesu, it's Nehusu. No, it could be He. I'm sorry. Because He in the hieroglyphic text means eternity. And Ne comes from nectar. So I'll write it down for you on some cards and break it down these bars, because y'all not gonna get it with me just talking it. That's why I gotta break out some flashcards for y'all niggas. Before y'all have me flashing on y'all. Because Animal write it in purple on the card for the crown chakra. Because purple is the violet color of the ultraviolet rays within a light frequency that you can see, because the highest form of light frequency is gamma radiation. And you can't see that. And that's what turned the Incredible Hulk green. Why is he green? It's the color of the prophet. And Bruce Banner is the strongest X-Men. Why is it an X? Because X is the feminine energy of the X chromosome. It's the serpent energy. You see how I could just keep going? Niggas be stealing all the time, bro. Niggas steal knowledge and recreate it in the public. Just like when you look on the side of an ambulance and you see the staff surrounded by two serpents, that's the Kundalini energy rising up the spine. If you know what you're doing, you don't need an ambulance. You see what I'm saying? And they putting that on the side of that, acting like they're really healing people through genetic modification of synthetic fucking drugs. You have a body that has roughly 9 organs, but then you're not eating organic food, which is live food. You eating dead food, you are what you eat. And that's not part of an African diet. It's part of a Caucasian diet, because there are nothing that grows in the Caucasus Mountains like that in a higher Caucasus. So when you take the word nectar, we're going to write it down for you guys. You take the word negus, which is a sovereign title of Ethiopia, is where the word Niger or Nigerian comes from, because those are actually masculine words. Nigerian means queens, or if you want to use the Asiatic, Niger or Nigerian or Nigerian, that means king and queens. Like, you didn't read the Bible when it said Jesus had a son and he was a Niger? His name was Simon Bar. Man, all right, guys. I'm just saying. So you take the word nectar, which equals they use that for God in Africa, because it encompasses the most attributes of God, everything in nature, which is everything in the known universe and outside it. Negus is a sovereign title, means king or queen. But if you put Negus T, I actually learned this from someone from the land of Kush, which is Ethiopia. And the word T, as in Tehuti, means dual. So Negus means king. Negus T means queen. And that's why you ignorant if you don't know your own language and culture. Somebody call you a nigga. That's why white people were mad. They came to, like my nigga Polite said, when they came to Africa, they seen all the nigguses with everything. And that infuriated them, because they were the last people to come here through the mitochondria DNA of a black man and a black woman. And those are facts. It says facts. Inspire minds, attract impure food. A pure mind only desires pure organic food. No need for sugar and gluten or self-pleasure bars. Keep preaching. No, I'm not preaching, bro. I'm just delegating the information to the chat of the Kingsmen so we can all grow and be better. That's all I'm doing. This is not my knowledge. I will never take the credit for this knowledge. I will never do none of that. This is the Supreme Being's knowledge, and I was blessed by understanding the books. And I was raised in the church for mad years. for mad years. And then when I understood and mastered the Bible and the Quran in my own African study, and I came back to my family, I understood that they wasn't even doing half the shit that they was trying to control me with. And they were no different from a white man corporation, my own family. And it's sad that I have to, it's not sad because that's a fictitious emotion. It's a detriment to them for trying to articulate something that they weren't a part of and didn't have the full knowledge of. And that's when I'm telling you, that's when I was done with this whole thing. And when people start opening their mouth about genders and I just sit back and just be looking at them because I know they don't know by the terms they're using from African spirituality, not your own talk. And there's nobody that comes before an African. Everybody knows it. Even the white man that you claim you don't like, but you steady eating his diet and his food and all of that. And I'm not prejudiced about that. That's for that culture of people. I have my own cult, my own occult, which just means hidden knowledge, secrets, the way we cultivate. That's where the word cult comes from. You take these words, neter, nigus, and then the word nehesu, which is the original term for blacks back in the day. And the term for Asiatics were the A'amu. That's the term. So we're going to look that up in Sudanese because Sudan is where Kush was on the Nile Valley. And as we know, due to Asiatic and European colonization, which is the same, Caucasians and Asians, due to that colonization and them changing the names, it doesn't change the fact that the Nile Valley is still in the same place. So then once we go to the Sudanese language, which is to have the original tongues of language and the original vowel sounds of language, we type in, I'm gonna just type in the words that you think that they're pronounced how you think they pronounce. And this is, and I'm writing these words down on paper so you can see the underlining similarities. See, and that's where quantum physics comes in, because people say, well, triangle theories doesn't work. You're right, because the base of a pyramid has 4 90-degree angles. It's only when you're looking at it from the level of the pyramid, if you want to say above sea level or the ground level, that you see one side of the pyramid, which is only 3 sides. But if you're looking at it from God's eye view, you see that the base of the pyramid is a square. And you can do nothing about that. That is a fact. And that's why they have 300 around the base of the Giza pyramid. It's 365.25 cubits. That's a year. That's why they measured things like that in the Bible through the cubits. And the cubit was from the elbow to the middle finger of the pharaoh, or 20 inches. We'll say 20 inches because it's either 18 or 20 inches, depending. So you take this word. The word he means eternity. I read it all the time. Eternity. And just like in the word city, the trilateral part of the word ite denotes a place. It doesn't matter what anybody says. City is spelt the way because it denotes a place. Eternity denotes a time and a place. And he is the word for that. So if you take neter, which means God, nigas, which means a king from God, and that's why that word is like that. And the trilateral root, no, the bilateral root of that, all of these words are ne. And just Africa's created language and discovered it first. So you can trade a E with the I and an A, it don't matter. It could be neter, it could be naga, it could be niger. It doesn't, because the original languages of Africa were consonantal. There were consonants first, and it's a mumble language, and it's right because they only use vowels in certain places. That's why when you really originally spell the word amen or amen, it was just AMN, because men, you could just say men. That's just a MN is just men. You don't need an E there. The E was placed there when they start making Asiatic Arabic because they couldn't understand the text of the glyphs. They had to make it their own so it's easier to read for themselves. So when you take neter, you see N-E, Nigas, Nigas T, Nehesu, Niger. So you take the word Nehesu for blacks is the bilateral root automatically means encompasses everything in the known universe and outside it with the N-E. Head means eternity, and Su means he who rises up, like in Jesus's original name, Jesus. Even when you spell it with a J, when you type it in and Sudanese, and you type in Jesus, is Yesu, and Su means he who rises. It's helium. Tefnut means moisture. Nut is moisture. Nu, moisture. Nut, nu, moisture. That's the feminine energy, water. Women get moist, wet. It's common sense. Men's penises rise up. That's why Yeshua is an African name. He was a carpenter. If you go to Sudan, South Sudan, and Kush, all of them parts, they're called the land of the bow, and their original craft was carpentry. I wish I could make that up. I can't. I can't make it up. It's not my things. So you say take Nehesu, it means the God of eternity who rises up. That's what they're talking about when they describe black people in the original terms. The Nehesu. From there you get Niger or Negus. And the reason being because Nehesu could also be spelled Nekh because it's in the word Tutankhamun. And that's why my name Hamza is spelled Khamza. And Ham is Ham. Muhammad, Yeshua HaMashiach, which means you who rise up to the black Messiah. And that's the thing. When people are taking things and recreating them, you're not supposed to change the name. And that's a rule of authors and trading and delegating knowledge down. You're not supposed to change the names and the authors. And when you change the names, you're automatically violating things. You keep the names the same. And that's why when you go into the Tanakh, which is a Hebrew book, it's not the Talmud. No, well, Tanakh is a Hebrew book, but then the Talmud is a Jewish or a Judean, all the same. But they say the Tanakh got all Kemetic names in there describing the pharaohs, and that's why they hide those things. If you and that's why there are no dates in these things. That's why they be changing shit up. Like y'all have no idea what be going on. Listen, the Gregorian calendar is not even. That's why I was talking about it earlier. It's not the original calendar. It's just not. The Aztec, the Mayans, and the Africans had the original calendar. So that's when you go to Ethiopia, and my people that used to be at the gym I used to train, when I really blew down on my African brother, like, hey, bro, you wasn't gonna tell me that I'm really not the age I am. It's really 2016, and they New Year is September 11th, which is 7-11, because sept means 7. It don't mean 9. And oct mean 8. Like the octagon. So it's like these things are put in place and you look crazy. That's why April Fool's Day is you're a fool if you think the New Year is in January, because September is the 7th month. So it don't matter what you say. November mean 9. It's the 9th month. These are the facts of matter. It's not what I say. Because when I was in school, I studied what an octagon was. So then when you go to October, that got to be the 8th month. How is it the 10th month? What's going on? The time is off. When your timing is off, you're going to be moving too quick or too slow. And you're going to be doing the same dumb shit for eternity. Eternity. You're going to be doing it forever. Same dumb shit, especially when you black. Especially when you black. So when you got people from Mauritania, which are Moors, which are former priests of Kemet, saying we not black, that mean you dead. No, it don't. Don't the light come out of the dark? Exactly. When you look up into space, that's considered the energy / matter made from consciousness and will. That's what they talk about in them books.
So they finally...
Hey, what's up with my guy? What's up with the guy? I'm over here giving them that transgender work because they did you hear about the Olympics? Yeah, got your ass smoked in there. What if that was Asia? Little Asia Dean in there. Nigga, you will be hot in there. You will be hot in there. Somebody, the nigga whooping on your daughter like that. We're not here for it. We are not here for that. We will not pay attention to that type of behavior. It says, damn, you just broke down a lot of what I face in trials and tribulations. Yeah, because at the end of the day, it don't matter if you are masculine, if you dwelling in the masculine energy, or if you dwelling in the feminine energy. Because if you understand, Jesus only sits to the right hand of God. That's the feminine energy. And that nigga had 2 nurses in his tomb. The nigga Jesus had 2 nurses. They both was Mary Magdalene's. They nursed him at all. Jesus had two women. No matter what you say, and you never read the Mount Sinai Bible. So when we go to this, the Nehesu, you got to abide by what Solomon had 300 wives and 700 concubines. Hey, listen, he was known as, and David was his daddy. So I can only imagine how many women his daddy had. And then I got the book from Abraham right over here, where it tells you he created the commandments for another group of people. Because commandments, the 10 commandments is Roman law. That's canon law. I don't know if you understand that, but the 10 commandments is canon law. They also got ecclesiastic law. Those are Deuteronomy is a law. Leviticus is a law. These are books of understanding of laws. And then the Romans was literally taking everybody's property. And that's when they said you bearing a false witness against thy neighbor, meaning you coming into court saying you was here and you know this shit and you don't fucking know it, man. And I literally was talking to my homie who was in the feds about this. Yeah, so like this proves you through etymology of language itself, not what I say. Because a lot of people like to say, well, Troy, you keep saying, no, I'm not saying anything. And my name is not Troy. It's like when Waka Flocka stopped making the music he was making and was like, hey, listen, I'm going to tell you what the man Donald Trump said. The man Donald Trump said, get a trust fund. And then after you get a trust fund, you get an S corporation, and then you pass it down. Donald Trump told me. So that way he's not liable for the information he passing because he talking about taxing the public, and that's against the law. And when you're going to court and you're doing anything with court, the moment somebody trying to talk to you about some money that you put up off of your social, that's color of law. It's no different from the transgender shit. It's no different from any and other thing when you do competing civilly. So that's what people don't understand. They've turned actual moral laws into corporate civil law, and then they try to make you act on them and make you perform the duties of these civil laws that they have passed down through the laws of Ma'at. If you read the laws of Ma'at, there's 2 separate laws. There's laws of behavior, and then there's laws of how you deal with people. You're not supposed to cut you're not supposed to put a dam in the running water. And if you know, over in Israel, they stopped that water running from Africa over into Saudi so they could say, no, we different. We not with y'all. That was not supposed to be done. That's never supposed to be done. That wasn't supposed to be done like that. They're breaking laws and treaties. It's no different from when the native Asiatics of the Americas be like, you're not supposed to run a pipeline through our land. And they be like, well, no, we gonna pay you for this. No, we don't want your fucking money. You're not supposed to run a pipeline through our sacred land. You're not supposed to be doing that. Because when you do that, you're gonna have to create other types of things to not abridge or stop it, to help the pipeline perform. And then you're gonna be like, well, no, we got the pipeline here, so to do that, we got to do other this. It's contractual, and that's when niggas be doing dumb shit. And that's when they get you through contractual law. You're not supposed to be doing this. They get you to sign off on it by creating other languages and be like, no, it's just business. No, it's not. It's not. It's not. You're not supposed to be over here doing shit. You're not supposed to be nowhere building shit up under the ground, creating that. There's other ways to do things. And that's what they're doing it. They create infrastructures under the ground. So they say, well, no, we own the ground because we own this infrastructure under it. That's how they get you every time. That's why when you build a house on the land, you paying property tax because they saying you don't own the things under the land. And that's why you got to put a land patent on your property. You got to. You have to. It's like the Never Never Land Ranch. Well, Mike, you take your ass over there, you gone. You take your ass on a reservation, they'll smoke you, bury you on the land, it's over. I know people who done it. And that's the crazy part. It was a female. She was telling me. She was a part of the government of the tribe in Marin County. They got a casino in Marin County out here in the Bay. She was one of my Ace Boone Coons. Her picture is in the casino. They claim native. When the only people, well, they were born here. I can't lie. They were born here because only black people are not even native to the earth. They're the children of the sun. And that's what niggas don't be getting. So when y'all niggas is fighting over this little minuscule shit down here, you're a child of the sun, and you are the people with the burnt faces. So that means the solar lunar system of the Milky Way is yours, but you fighting over shit on the earth. Hey, blood, do what you do, but we gonna end this with the law, the fifth law, because we in a season of Heru Huti. I go into the book of the Metu Neter, which is the words of God. I'll go into the book for you and show you what season we in, because it's a time and place for everything. And they have it down to a science. I'm going to go to it right now. It's on page 262. The South. From noon to 3 p.m., June 21st to August 5th, is Heru Hutis. The Utat. It's not the Uachet. The Uachet is actually pronounced the Utat, and it's the two serpents that rise up. And each two serpents have a masculine and feminine serpent in the masculine side and on the feminine side. The serpent who rises up from the red side is the hot fire energy of the serpent. That's the serpent energy of hot fire. And then you have the blue serpent, and they replaced it on the head of a pharaoh with a vulture, because the vulture flies in a complete circle over in the sky, and the vulture represents the mother energy, and it's blue. But in the actual scriptures, they use the serpent energy, the feminine serpent energy. There's two serpent energies. So that's what they call the Uta. It's called the Nehebet and the it's called the Nehebet and the hold on, let me see. It's called the Nehebet. It's right on the tip. Well, let me go to the back of the book. It's called the Nehebet. I just read it. Let me go. Because all of these things have images to them. All right, here is head. Head is right there. That's the hieroglyph for head. Right there on the side. When you see those two lines and a squiggly line going down, that means eternity. The beetle is Mayate or Hepra, means to become consciousness and will. What you need? I'm gonna send you some bread. I need to hit that. Oh yeah, one is called the Utat and the other is called the Nehebet. And as you can see, when you look in the book, right here, the Uchat is a serpent energy hanging over, and the Nehebet is actually a serpent. So those are the energies coming up the spine. So then when you go back to 262 in the Metu Neter.
Hey, this your weed, man. That's you.
Hey, how much you want for that? I'll send you some bread on the Cash App. Cause I'm about to go buy some. I'm about to go get some shit today. I ain't had nothing to roll, but I'm about to go get something to roll with. Hey, bitch, don't be coming. That's your weed right there. This you. Yeah, you got the white boy around the corner, right? No, that's you know what I'm talking about, though, right? You got the white boy around the corner, Mike Epps. We spending with you all day. It says, what is the serpent energy you explaining are the two defining women's snake energy? No, versus men. No, the two serpent energies are the masculine energy and the feminine energy from the root chakra or hakra. It's really not chakra, it's hakra, because it's the hot energy, electricity that rises up the spine to the pineal gland. It's just that you have an energy from a masculine perspective and you have an energy from a feminine perspective. Both of these energies rise up in a cold fashion up to your pineal gland through the feminine pituitary gland. The pineal gland is a masculine gland. The pituitary is a feminine gland. Both of those glands, and this is why when the pituitary gland is affected by the diet, your hormones, your chromosomes, those come from the sun. I'm going to read you and end it on this note. It says, yeah, go ahead. It says, from the south, from noon to 3 p.m., June 21st to August 5th, Heru Huti, the Utat. It says your sympathetic system is at its height. The earth is an extreme point of heat absorption. He trying to play with little mommy. It says, and your body has lost excessive amounts of moisture. Your extreme lack of moisture, emotional factor, has brought you to the point of the greatest insensitivity and fearlessness. This is the time of the season we in. It says it is most auspicious for those undertakings that require a lack of fear of bodily harm, hard work, and zeal. As your lack of moisture, make sure that you do not engage at this time in protracted undertakings. Protracted undertakings means things that take a long period of time. It says, be careful. Do not forget to ask what is right. Do not take the exhaustion of your moisture to the limits. Illness will visit you in the north. Watch your blood pressure. See, this is why they saying in African culture, the body of God has to be running at optimal level for you to be acting as God. You can't act as the supreme being as a vessel if your body is not at the optimal level. That means it has to be in supreme shape. Meaning you gotta be vegan. Ain't no fucking choice. Say what you want. Argue with your mama in African law. Don't argue with me because I'm telling you what it say. Because they're describing how your parasympathetic and your sympathetic system is at heights and different and in the closet due to the season and the time, because when it's hot outside, there is no moisture in the air. So your body's moisture is going to be dissipating at a quicker rate. It says, watch your blood pressure. It says June 21st, the summer solstice, is the most auspicious time for the Ut-At faculty, meaning for you to rise up with fire. It says, read Shakespeare's Midsummer's Night's Dream and while away the 4 days and 4 nights in sleep, chanting and fasting. Water fast. That's the whole point of Ramadan, which is the consciousness and will of the masculine energy from the consciousness and will. And that's why the Prophet Muhammad used to go to Mount Sinai in the summertime for Ramadan and fast, because fire makes things happen. It's a catalyst. It says, like bottoms, you will be able to play any role you choose, and puck will make your dreams, all your desires come true. Your parasympathetic system has begun to rise, but it's still underground, putting out less than your sympathetic. If you look up, we'll just real quick while we going over this, we're going to go to Siri. Hey, Siri, what is the sympathetic system?
The sympathetic nervous system is one of the 3 divisions of the autonomic nervous system, the others being the parasympathetic nervous system and the enteric nervous system. Shall I continue?
No, because you're giving them too many bars, Siri. I'll get with you later. Hey, listen, there's 3 parts of your nervous system because you have to be thrice times great. It's in the emerald tablets. It's a holy trinity. It's a divine spirit. There's actually 4. That's why in the Bible in Genesis it says the 4 corners. They're talking about Amen. They're talking about Amen, Al-Sar, Tehuti, and Seker. Those are 4. 0, 1, 2, and 3. 4 numbers. The parasympathetic, the sympathetic, and the enteric systems. Those systems go on numbers, and the enteric system is off the, basically, is like the etherical system of your body. And it's talked about it in the Emerald Tablets. It says you have 3 parts of your body. You got the flesh, you got the nervous system where Akasha moves. That's Akasha, which is ether. That's what they used to call it back in the day. Aaliyah played a movie as Akasha vampire. That really means ether. And then you got the blood flow, the circulatory system where your blood goes. And the blood comes from the stem cells of the bone marrow. Hey, man, I'm done. Hey, listen. I just explained that to y'all. You have, listen, know that God neither punishes, protects, or rewards. It leaves you with the comfort of doing these yourself. So when you reaching up to God, God is not outside you, it's in you. So you got to bust your own pack. Male, it's the only book you should be. It's the Medu Netter, Volume 1 by Ra'u Nefer Amen, which Metu Netter, which you have a Metu you have a Medu a medulla. That's where Metu comes from. Metu comes from the word Medu, which means words. It's a part of your reptilian brain, and words control the reptilian brain. Words are power, whether you say them silently or out loud, it doesn't matter. You get it? You get it. All right. Hey, listen, hit my Cash App. We out for today. We probably be back later. We got to go to the grocery store real quick and grab some things. You feel a dig me? We're going to go to the grocery store and grab some things. We're going to holler at y'all. I'm in Hotep 1. Hey, listen. I don't want to see the transgender. That shit is crazy. That shit crazy.